Ian here, Connecticut Watersports. Just wanted to take a minute to talk about something that's huge for me, and that is the location of your business and where you're going to operate out of if you do boat rentals, water sports charters, fishing charters, anything of that nature. So for me at least, I'm on Connecticut. The lake I'm on is a really nice setup. However, it's not set up well for tourism. It's a lot of privately owned homes, some conservation center, some nonprofit style camps. So someone like me coming in and taking people out on boats for hire is something that people aren't really used to seeing in the area. I didn't grow up on this lake, so it's not like everyone knows me. It kind of took some time to work myself into the community here. There's many people that love your services and you're helping and teaching kids to ski and showing people a really good time. The other side of it is that there's going to be some people that don't love the idea of you being there, and the water is always very political. It's a shared space and you kind of have to figure out how you're going to fit in. So my advice, if you're starting out at least, would be to pay a little bit of attention to where you're planning on running this out of, picking up customers, meeting people, and kind of figure out who your key players are at least. Now, if I tried to get every level of permission to start my business, it probably never would have started. I just kind of showed up, I didn't know any better, and started doing my thing. Now, the first year I ended up in a marina, I just got a spot. I said, hey, I kind of have this little thing teaching people, whatever, not a huge deal. By the end of the season, our thing got kicking. We started getting busy. And the members of that marina and stuff were like, we've never seen anything like this. Who the hell are these people showing up? We got these out-of-state plates. People are in our marina. And it was stressful. So we were kind of getting the evil eye. They're like, hey, we don't know what's going on here. I'm like, all right, I get it. This isn't going to work. We'll get out of there. So I was kicked out of that place, basically. I made it through our first season where we weren't super busy. Then we were going into the next season, and I found this guy who had a piece of property and some cottages and stuff on it. And I'm like 19, and I'm just like, I gotta pull something off. Like, I just need a place for people to park their car and walk to our boats. And it sounds easy, but it's tricky because, I don't own anything property-wise. That lasted about a month and a half. I was kind of like, our people could be really good clients for you, which is true. The people renting your cottages, we could also take them out. And he's like, okay, like we could try that. And we got about a month and a half in, and again, just too many people, too many out-of-state plates. What the hell's going on? People are in the cottages, seeing our crews coming in and out that are trying to relax. And it ended fine. I mean, I knew it wasn't going to work. He wasn't going to work, and we parted ways. So at that point, it was like the middle of June, and I had bookings on the calendar. So I was calling like some of the few people I knew in the area. And some people really nice to me, like locals on the lake and stuff that kind of knew me, Airbnb owners, stuff like that. Some of them I'm still really close with. So I'm like, hey, like I have this thing going, it's starting to work, and I'm in a tough spot here. Like, I don't know where to pick these people up. And this person, they're like, call this guy. He runs like this like town beach area. The setup of this beach was you pay $10 to park your car and you could hang out there all day. They have boat docks, which we could pay $10 to pull up to. So this guy was really cool. The advantage for him was, hey, we're gonna get cars in here. We can get you more cars, more revenue for your beach. My customers are gonna have to pay to park like everyone else. On the other side of it, I'll pay to use your boat docks like anyone else. And we pulled that off for the first season, and that saved our ass to keep things going. So we made that work, and then that winter came around. So now we're going into our third season. So at this point, going into the third season, I'm like, all right, like this is starting to hit like pretty good. Now we're running I was trying to run 3 or 4 boats that third season. Some charter days we'd have like 15, 18 hours of boat time booked. We had the little kids camp. So I'm like, I gotta like get my shit figured out here a little bit. And I know I'm gonna have to pay someone or figure something out, but I gotta do it. And there's just not any commercial property here. I went to that town beach and I kind of sent them a whole proposal. It's run by like a commission, there's town involvement. So it's like, it's tricky. Like they're not completely motivated by money, because at the end of the day, it's not their money. And this place has been there forever. They've always gotten town funding. As much as my business helps them get more money, I'm not going to make or break. And, there could be ego at times and, running things the way they've always been run. And, I get that. I sent them this big proposal. I kind of shot for the stars a little bit, asking if we could keep boats there overnight and run the kids camp, run our charters, kind of went for it. So basically what happened was we negotiated down to a level where they took some of it. They're like, you can't keep boats here overnight. No one keeps boats here overnight. Like, okay, good. One of the things they did let me do was put like an office trailer. So I had like a little bit of a t-shirt shack, place to check people in. So that was really cool. I was like, all right, that's a win. Let me do the camp there. Let me do the charters. And they're like, and we're going to need $5,000. I'm like, oh, all right. It is what it is. Thanks. And I'm very grateful to have this set up. So we did that, and I got through last year, 2021. Great. The setup worked awesome. So that was a huge win. This is long-winded here, but I'm trying to get the full rundown. So now we're going into 22. This year, it's May. I get a message, of course, from the guy running the beach, who I'm very good with. And he's like, hey, we might have a problem. Like, all right, here we go. Basically what happened, that whole deal I set up with the commission was okay. That was fine. But on a town level, they didn't get proper approvals from like the actual town. This is like the committee. I did my deal with them, but up here, they're like, what's going on? There's a business running out of the beach. This isn't gonna work. So I kind of got the rug pulled out from under me on Memorial Day weekend, which was a big bummer. I can't say I'm shocked, but it stung. I'm still working on getting that renewed, but I have to, submit insurance policies to the town, workman's comp policies to the town. They want to see a wetlands permit. There's going to be a lot of hoops to jump through. So if not this year, I'm hoping to be back in there next year. But since we can't quit, we got to keep going. Where I'm at now is I am at like a state boat launch setup. It is technically public, and I've talked to certain like econ agencies and the police that run it. And what I've heard and other people that run charters have heard is that as long as you're not conducting business on the property, taking cards, taking cash, even tips, can't take those on the property. But if it's a mutual meeting point and no business is being conducted, that's okay. So the setup is not very ideal. There's some management in place here who obviously don't love the situation. And honestly, it's not super impactful from what I've seen. Like, it seems to be going very well, but it's a shared space. And, sometimes clients will roll up, or it's like 20 kids get out and you're like just trying to be like, hey, just hang out over here. Don't get in anyone's way. So it's you gotta just push through. I mean, we don't have a choice at this point, but it's tough. So that's kind of my story on where we're at location wise, but it's a big battle. There's a couple commercial properties for sale on the lake. One, they're asking about $1 million. The other, they want like $8 million. So the issue with that is, for me running a water sports business here in just July and August, the numbers don't work to have a mortgage out on a place like that if I was ever able to get approval. Maybe if we could get creative, there's like one has like cottages, there could be a real estate angle there, maybe a resort if I was able to partner with someone. Definitely different angles, but for right now, I'm just kind of pushing through, hoping to get that beach thing restored. So yeah, just my advice if you're starting out, if you try and get every level of permission, you might not ever start. So sometimes you got to just hop in, and it's easier to ask for forgiveness than permission. But I definitely probably wouldn't just like get a slip at a marina and just start running your business out of there and thinking you're never going to have anyone say something. So like any business in the world, not everyone's going to love you, but just kind of my story and some stuff to keep in mind.